Hi, welcome back everyone. In today's video, I will show you how you can install HeyGem on your computer. That's basically a Windows computer or Windows PC, if you like to call it. So the first thing is, you can actually follow this website if you can do it on your own. But the step is a little bit complex and it's rather confusing. So if you search for HeyGem GitHub, then this is the first link that you'll need to go to. GitHub is actually an open source, so the source code is actually open. If you are a programmer and you know how to read the source code and all this kind of stuff. If not, then this is a website. If you go down, then they'll tell you what is HeyGem about. You can watch my previous video that I show you what HeyGem can do. And then we have all this, how to run locally, all this stuff. So for Windows installation, they tell you what you need. So basically, I believe most of us is running Windows 11. And you must have a D drive. This is very important because they store all the temporary file on the D drive. So if you don't have a D drive, this won't work. If you don't have a D drive, buy a thumb drive or flash drive and plug it in so that you have the D drive. Because this software requires the D drive unless you modify some of the source code inside, which I'm not going to do that. That will make the installation more complex. And then for configuration wise, they recommended, this is a recommendation, 13th generation Intel Core i5 at least. I mean, this is just a recommended. I'm using a i9 but 10th generation and it works perfectly fine. I have a 32 gig graphic card. They recommended 4070. Of course, anything higher than that will be better. But I'm just using a 1360 Ti version and that worked perfectly fine for me. Of course, the better the graphic card, the faster that it can produce. So make sure this is a NVIDIA graphic card because the software don't work on AMD graphic card. You must know that AMD is more for gaming and NVIDIA is more for this kind of AI kind of stuff as well as gaming. So if you are a gamer and you are doing AI stuff, always get a NVIDIA card. So over here, they'll tell you the step 1, installing Windows Docker, and then they'll give you all this command. These are all the commands. Okay, let me execute one command for you to see. Actually, this is not to install the Docker. The first step, this is to check whether you have Docker installed or not. So basically, we will need to go to the command prompt. So we will need the command prompt. I like to run administrator. And then we are pasting this. And then they'll give you this bunch of error because we don't have the Docker installed. So this part here is a little bit messy, and then they'll tell you to update your WSL, which belong to the Docker, and then they tell you to download the Docker. Actually, this should be the part 1. You should download the Docker first. So over here, the Docker is 4.36.0. Actually, it doesn't matter. Just install the latest Docker. At the time of you watching the video, always install the latest Docker for yourself. So over here, you can just click download. I'm doing this demo on a Windows PC, so I'm not sure. This definitely won't work on a Mac because the thing is for the Windows PC, the HeyGem. So although they have a Docker for Mac, but the HeyGem itself is for Windows. So download the required window if you are using an ARM processor or you are using an Intel or AMD. So I'm going to click to download this. Actually, I have already downloaded the Docker, so I'm just going to skip the downloading. So I'm going to install the Docker now. Just go through all the steps. And I'm going to delete this one. Go through all the steps for the Docker and always install the latest version, which is 4.43 now. If next time this is version 5, just install version 5. will do. And then I'm going to pause the video here and come back after it finish install, because this will take quite some time. Just to let you see a bit of the installation. So they are slowly installing all this. In fact, the whole HeyGem installation will take probably 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how fast is your PC. But on my PC, i9 10th generation, 32 gig of RAM and a 3060 Ti card, that will take me about, I think, 45 to 60 minutes. So right now I'm done with the installation, but this close button is very important, because if you click on this close button, your computer will be restarting by itself without any prompt. So if you are doing anything important, save your file first. Once you click this close button, your PC will be restart. So once your computer is restart, we can launch the Docker. And then we don't need the installation file anymore. So this will be the first screen that you see after you install Docker. Always click the accept button. You can go through all the agreement, but just click the accept button. We can ignore this one over here, and then over here they ask you work or personal, all this. Just click on this skip button. We don't have to create an account or anything like that. Just click skip. Okay, so now we can see that it's telling us to update our WSL. So this is a command prompt. As you can see from the HeyGen website, it actually reversed the order. We should actually update this one first. Let's go to the command prompt, CMD, and then we right click and click run as administrator, and then I'm going to paste this. Then they are going to download this stuff for the Docker. So we can see that it's actually reversing the order. So if you are just following step 1, 2, 3, you will never get this done. So it should actually be 3, 2, 1. 1 is not necessary, because 1 is to check if the Docker is installed. So even if you skip this step 1 is fine. But anyway, we are going to run that as well to check. So it should be 3, 2, 1, and then 4 is actually to see that the Docker has been installed successfully. So I should say this is actually step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. And we are not even on the HeyGem yet. This is just the Docker part. So now that it has updated, then we are going to paste this command prompt inside here, and we should see something like this. Before that, we need to restart first, because we have updated the Docker, but we have to start the engine for the Docker. This is the part that is often pretty confusing. So after we start the Docker, then we go back to step 1. Step 1 is to check that this is running. And then we have this subsystem over here. We can just close it. What we want is to wait for this Docker engine to start. Okay, one thing I don't know why they always have this new version available. If you click on it, it doesn't install, but it doesn't matter. So once we see this container over here, we can go back, run this step 1. Basically copy and paste to a command prompt, and then now we can see that the Docker is running as this screen over here. So now we are done with the Docker only. We still haven't started on our HeyGem yet, but we have cleared the Docker part. So we don't have to care about all this. So, and the other part that is confusing is this, installing the server. So installing using Docker. Docker compose as follow. This particular Docker compose inside this directory / deploy. So where is this particular Docker compose.yml? It wasn't stated in this HeyGem. That is what gets people confused. So first of all, we need to get this directory, and then we need to go to here to execute it. To execute this installation, we need to supply this command. If I were to supply this command to my command prompt directory right now, it doesn't work because there's no deploy directory over here. So this part here, how do we get to solving this, installing the server? Now we need to go right back up. I'm not going to supply you with all this because I believe the proper way is for you to download it from the website rather than I give you all the file. Because nowadays there's a lot of different kind of spyware or other kind of software. So always go to the official website instead of downloading from me or from anyone else. So we can see from here, there's this deploy directory. So how do we get this deploy directory? We can't run it from here. We definitely cannot run the file from here because this is just a website. It's not on your computer. So let's go to this over here. We can see that the latest version is released on April 2, 1.0.4. Click on this. And then we have this few thing over here. Okay, this one is actually the HeyGem main engine that you need it. But we are not going to do that yet because we haven't finished the part yet. So let's go to the source code. We need to download this source code. This is what is not mentioned in the document. So once we download the source code, of course we need to download this one also, but we can do this at a later part. Let's download the source code first. And then we go back. So if you are going to do this yourself, you'll be hitting a lot of error. Because this portion over here, installing the server, installation using Docker. And then we need to run this file, run this deploy directory. Let's see if I finish downloading the source. Yes. So the source code over here, this is where, this is the HeyGem. And then we have this deploy directory over here. Okay. So what we need to do is actually to unzip this particular directory to a place. So in my case here, I'm going to unzip to my C drive. So for my case, I'm going to just drag it to my C drive over here. No, I'm not going to put it inside any of the directories, so just drag it somewhere. So now that I have dragged it to my directory, so it is inside this directory over here. I don't need this file anymore. So I like to clear away all the things that I don't need. So this is actually the directory, and then the deploy is here. So if you remember, we need to go to the deploy directory, right? So how do we go there? So this is the directory that I unzip to. If you can unzip to any other directory. So let me go back to CMD. I mean the command prompt. And I'm going to put cd and then this CD, and then I basically paste this, I copy and paste this one over here, CD space, and then followed by the path over here, and then that will get you to the deploy directory. Once we are at the deploy directory, let's go back. And we are going to run this command over here. At the deploy directory, copy and paste this command over here and then click enter. Okay, what is inside this docker compose.yml? It's actually contain the source file of the HeyGem. That is where to pull the particular file from. And this part over here, this is going to take a very long time, because I think it will take at least, I don't know how many gig of data to download and install. Here, this is just part 1, which is already 5 gig. Following through, there will be more than 5 gig. So even on the document page, it say we need to wait patiently for half an hour depending on the internet speed. And the download will consume about 70 gig of traffic. Like I mentioned, this installation process will take at least half an hour to 60 minutes. So while this is running, I'm going to pause the video over here, and I'll come back to you I'll see you in half an hour time. Okay, now that this particular portion is installed and done, so we can close this one. And now let's go back to the website again. We have to see if they ask for any other thing. So right now we need to download the client. This is the part where we actually download the exe file. And then the mode 2 is the other kind of software. All this we don't have to care. So now let's go back to this official build, or in fact you can go to here, over here, 1.04. Remember, this is a place where you download the source code. This part here is where you get the deploy directory, and that's not being explained. And from here we can download this HeyGem 1.0.4 dash setup.exe. So after we download, we can install this one. So right now I can close the command prompt, all this. Okay, this is the part here that we are going to download. Okay, we can see from here the deploy. Okay, when we run this one, you will get this error. I mean, this window detected something is wrong. If you trust this particular software, and anyway, this is directly from GitHub itself, it's not given by me or anything. If you trust this software, click run anyway. If you don't trust this, then basically you can run it. You can run HeyGem on your PC. And then over here, okay, just now it's here. So if we expand this one, then we can see that the HeyGem, this particular file or this portion of the generation of the AI is here, and this is the image. You needed this one in order to run the HeyGem successfully. Okay, sorry, let me go back and finish this. They'll tell me they are going to install to this particular place, and then just click install. So now that we are done, you can click on the run HeyGem. Just click on this finish. It will basically run this particular HeyGem over here. This one is the installation file. Click on the blue button. Basically is to agree on the, agree to the term and condition. And this will be in Chinese. So click this over here. This is a setting button. And then click the last icon. setting, and then click the third one, and this is Chinese, this is English. Click this one. Over here, this will change it to English. Let me delete the installation file first. So this is a 1.04. Okay, so when we are at here, before we start creating any video, we need to create an avatar. So actually in my previous video, I have demonstrated how the HeyGem actually works. Let's say I wanted to create an avatar, because the first thing that we need is actually to create an avatar. Let's say this is an avatar that I'm going to use. And we can see that this guy is basically walking forward. The lips is not even talking or anything like that. But we're going to do a lip sync on this. So the first thing that we need is actually to go to this HeyGem over here and create the avatar first. And then click on this upload button. And then I'm going to select all these are the video file. I'm just going to select this one. This is actually from Pexus. So it's copyright free, and then you want to preview, you can preview, doesn't matter. And then give it a name for this avatar. Let me call it AAA and click submit. And then I have this error over here. Until today, I still haven't figured out the problem with this. So I can't solve this problem as of now. And there's no documentation over here on how we can resolve it. So what I actually do is I actually have an old version of this HeyGem. Instead of 1.0.4, I have this HeyGem of 1.0.3. I actually don't have to install it. I doesn't have to install it. And if I run this HeyGem over here, I can just unzip the file and then run this HeyGem. Over here we can see which is the version, but this is a 1.0.3. So if I click on the avatar over here and upload the same video, I call it AAA. And if I click submit, then it'll be done. So you just go in, and then I can create as many avatars as I want. So let's say for different kind of scenario I want to use, then I'll just create. So using the 1.0.3 version, I have no problem. And then from here we can just click on create a video. Okay, for the video we need to select, do I want this avatar or do I want the other avatar? So and this part over here you add in your voice. So this is a pre-recorded MP3 file that you created. And from here, we click on submit. And then we can create again. The good thing about HeyGen is you can create multiple tasks at once. And then we can create one more time. So right now I'm using this one. And if I were to add in, let's say it's another MP3, because I only prepare one MP3 for this. So if there's another MP3, and then I click submit, then two works will be in the production. So the work is over here, and the killer part of the HeyGem as compared to other tools is the speed that it generates the video. This is the fastest model that I have used. Before that, I used those wave to lips or video retaking. Those are great tools as well, but the time taken is too long, even for just a 10-second video. So if you are doing 1 or 5 minutes of video, that could take almost an hour to create. Of course, I'm using a very old graphic card, which is a 1360 Ti. That is about 5 years ago. In PC technology, 5 years is pretty a long time. So now we actually have the first video that is done up. How it prepared the video is actually, you can line up let's say you have 10 projects to do, you can just place your project over here. You don't have to do it one by one. That means you have 10 projects. You can just put it avatar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to do it, and then you process the first one first before you start to process the second one, and then the third one and fourth one. This is useful if you have, say, like 10 projects, and then you can just create a project, leave it, go for your lunch, and come back 1 hour later, and all of it is done. If you have to do it one project by one project, then you need to be on the screen here to stay and finish the first project, then go on to the second project. So let us just preview the first project that we have done. If you want, or if I want, then just download it. If not, let's preview it together.
This is Winston. Welcome to my channel. If you like this channel, please subscribe.
Okay, I think it's not very smooth because something is running on the background. This part here is taking up my GPU. So let me just download it. Download the file first. I'm going to tell it. I'm going to call it test. Okay, maybe I will just delete this work away. Otherwise, I can't preview it. In later part of the other tutorial, then we'll see if I can make using HeyGem to make someone sing. Let's take a look at the result. This is a test, MP3, MP4.
This is Winston. Welcome to my channel. If you like this channel, please subscribe, like and share the video with your friend. Thank you.
So this is the result. It's actually very amazing for the lip syncing part. If you compare it with the original footage, this is taken from Pexus. The mouth is actually not moving, and of course this video is not very stable. This video is a little bit jerky. The source of the video, you have to find a good source. So that's it on how you can install it. So for any of you that need this, so the only way is that you can follow all the steps on this procedure over here up until the installation of this 1.0.4, because I haven't figured out the avatar part. So I'll give you this file over here if you trust me. So I'll be giving you this. This one will contain all the file, and then from here you just run the HeyGem. I'll put the link for this to download the 1.0.3 over here, and then you can just download it in the description below, and then you can start to run it. Of course, this is a 103. So for those of you that figure out the 1.0.4, the error message on how to create the avatar, do comment below so that we can learn from each other. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next video.